Hi, I'm Jill. Today it was announced in my college that during our prom a queen would be elected. And of course I just have to win. Look at me, a beautiful face and a gorgeous body, not a gram of fat. Please support me with your likes right now. It really helps me reaching my goal. Only 2 months left until the prom, and I have so much to do. To buy the most amazing dress, to go to a beauty therapist and to face massage, to dye my hair and to find a beauty blogger who could teach me how to put on some evening makeup. I'd spend the whole day going around evening dress shops. The consultants did praise my shape, but couldn't offer me the ideal outfit. Alright, let's sleep on it. I'll try again tomorrow. Someone please switch this nasty alarm clock off. Today it's especially hard to get up. As usually, my day started with weighing. What? Where does this extra kilo come from? Maybe that's the way my body reacted to yesterday's Coke and a piece of pizza I consumed at the mall. Well, then today I'm having only vegetables and yogurt, cause I need to be in shape. But the next day it all repeated. There was a new weight gain. And then again and again. In a fortnight I had to admit there was plus 15 kilos. It horrified me where it's from. Now I'm a fatso. The whole class was shaming me and saying I was worthy being a queen, but only a queen of McDonald's. Even my female friends turned their backs on me. They said they were busy, but I knew they just didn't want to see a fatso in their group. Every day before breakfast, I walked for 2 hours to move my fat a little. At lunch, I had a couple of eggs and some greenery, and my dinner consisted of celery smoothie and an apple. 2 weeks passed, but the scale kept on showing plus 15 kilos. It's only 1 month left before the contest. I'm just desperate. With this look, I have nothing to do at the prom. I'll not even go to the diploma awarding. Otherwise, everyone remembers me exactly like that, and the prom pics will have a fatso on them. I'll definitely burn them, and my own memory too. I wish I could burn my fat instead. If only there was a possibility to lose weight so fast, I'd give everything for that. I'd even sell my soul to the devil. I cried in despair for what seemed like several hours, and then I suddenly saw I was standing on a scale, and its needle rapidly moved to the right. Oh no! I'm getting fat in front of my own eyes! And then I heard ominous whispering. I'll take your fat away. You just have to sign the contract. A sheet of old yellow paper appeared in front of me, and I signed limply. The ink turned out to be red for some reason. I jumped up covered in sweat. So it was a dream? But it was so eerily realistic. I must stand on the scale now and see if there's any more extra weight. Oh, minus half a kilo. Finally, my diet and exercise gave fruit. This means I have 29 more days to lose 14.5 kilos more. The next day there was minus 1 kilo, and in 2 days almost minus 3. Yes, Jill, keep up the good work. Prove them all you are the real queen. By the end of the week I'd lost 7 kilos, and it inspired me so much. It was about time I visited the dress shops again and looked if they got new arrivals. Soon I'll need the best dress in the world. And this soon came in a week. The scale showed my previous body mass. I'm as slender as I was. My friends respected me again and invited to go to the cinema. Hey, was this the only ticket available? The 13th place in the 13th row. Are you kidding me? But my friends only laughed at me and called me superstitious. After the movie, we walked and discussed outfits. Oh, look, what a beautiful church. Organ and singing spilled from its open door, and I suddenly felt strangely weak. What's that? Everything went dark, as if I was about to faint, and cold sweat ran down my spine. Oh, girls, I feel bad. Let's get out of here. In a cafe, I felt way better. We had a snack and were discussing boys enthusiastically when I got a phone call. Hello? What do you say? Put it aside, I'll be there right now. This call was from a shop. They got a gorgeous dress, and it was a single copy. Whatever it looks like, I must take it, cause no one in the city will be able to buy the same outfit. It's exclusive. The outfit was amazing and costed an arm and a leg. But well, a queen must look like one, huh? In the morning I felt a throb of fear. What if I gained weight again? The only way to find out was to weigh. What? -kilo? But I don't need to lose any more weight. Maybe it's like a train at full speed that cannot be stopped so fast. Alright, I think in a couple of days everything stabilizes as I've returned to my old lifestyle and diet. But in several days nothing stabilized, and I watched in horror how the scale showed -3 kilos. Oh no! How will I look in that dress now? I must immediately gain weight back. Burger, pizza and Coke delivery arrived in half an hour. Now this is my main food. But in a week I had lost 15 kilos. My outfit hanged on me like on a rack. I was literally shrinking in the real time. Why did I start losing weight so abruptly? I've lost 30 kilos in 3 weeks. And then it dawned on me all of a sudden. I recalled several weeks ago I spurted out rashly that I was ready to sell my soul to the devil just to lose weight. And immediately after this, I had that strange dream. Maybe I did actually sign that contract. And I'd call this nonsense myself if I didn't feel so bad near that church. And what about the 13th place in the 13th row? What happens now? Will I keep shrinking until I dry out completely and die? I cried in despair. My weight decreases every minute. That's unstoppable. Seems I'm finished. Suddenly I heard noises behind my door, and then it started opening slowly. I shuddered. Is it death coming for me? Mom, it's you! I'm so sorry for what I've done. I rushed to her but felt dizzy, and Mom barely managed to catch me. Hi, do you recognize me? I know, it's a tough task with all my weight changes. Yes, it's me, Jill, and I have finally returned to my old body. Thanks, Mommy and Dr. Edwards. He explained my fixation on the contest was caused by a neurosis, which together with fasting and a huge physical strain led to uncontrollable weight loss, bad feeling and anxious dreams. In the end, I had to visit a psychotherapist, and the reason for my strange weight gain was an ordinary hormone imbalance. Yes, I've skipped the prom, but at least I'll attend the diploma awarding looking more or less fine. Mom comes with me. She says I'll live a great life even without this queen's title. There will be plenty of possibilities to express myself, and it seems for the first time I agree with her. Did you like the video? Like it and subscribe to the channel. And don't forget to send your stories to our inbox. Maybe a future video will be based on one of them.
I could barely walk down the hallway of the school. My thinness made my body look like a skeleton, with jutting ribs, sunken cheekbones, and huge bruises under my eyes. Then I saw my classmate ahead of me, Paul. He asked in horror what was wrong with me. I clenched my fists in anger. It's all your fault. It all started when he transferred to our class a few weeks ago. Paul immediately attracted the girls' attention. A tall, dark-haired guy with brown eyes, and he looked older than his years. It was love at first sight. But Paul wouldn't date a fat girl like me. Because of my weight, I have never had a boyfriend. I tried to lose weight. I dieted, went to the gym, but in vain. Even doctors shrugged their shoulders. I had a bad metabolism. I almost accepted that no boy would look at me. But then Paul started hitting on me, winking at me, complimenting me, and once he even saved me from bullies who called me fat. He said I was very beautiful and I shouldn't listen to anyone. No one had ever been so kind to me. I liked Paul so much that after a week of dating, I finally decided to tell him. Here goes nothing. After school, I asked Paul to stay. My heart was pounding with excitement, and I blurted out, "I like you." Paul was silent for a long time, and I was literally burning with shame, but then he smiled and said he liked me too. I was dizzy with happiness. But Paul immediately added that he would only be with me on one condition: if I lost weight. Something snapped inside me. But I would do anything for Paul. Right after school, I went to the gym. In the middle of the road, a promoter stopped me and handed me a flyer. "Hey beauty, weight loss courses have opened here. Here's an invitation to a free session." I hesitated, but the promoter assured me, "A week and you're a model." If it was for free, then it was worth a try. I thanked the promoter and went to the specified address. The entrance to the studio was in the courtyard and led to the basement. Inside, a nice girl met me and immediately invited me to a session. It was led by a man in a black hoodie who introduced himself as a teacher. I left the session an hour later and immediately ran home to weigh myself. But as soon as I saw the number, everything swam before my eyes. -3 kilos? I double-checked several times. Wow, the courses were working. I was so excited that the next day, I immediately ran to the session. But the manager stopped me, saying that the subsequent sessions cost $1,000. But this was all my savings. There was no choice. I wanted to lose weight so much that when I got home, I took out my stash and frantically counted it. Damn, not enough. I was almost desperate when I found more bills in my jacket pocket. Got it. Mom came home from work and asked me where I was going. Panic gripped me. I immediately blurted out that I was going out with my friends. My ears burned. It was the first time I had lied so blatantly to my mom, but I couldn't tell her about the courses. She wouldn't understand. After giving all the money to the manager, I went to the second session. And after that, I immediately ran to the weigh scales. Another -3 kilos. I also saw the result in the mirror. My belly got flatter and my thighs were getting thinner. Even Paul at school said I was getting prettier and hugged me. My classmates blushed with envy. And I was over the moon. I should lose a little more weight, and we would be together. But where could I get the money? At school, I only thought about it until I realized that I had only one option: to ask my parents. At home, I walked over to my mom, biting my lip. If only she would agree. But as soon as I started talking, Mom interrupted. Money didn't grow on trees. I immediately went to my room, slamming the door behind me. She never understood me. But Paul would not wait. He would find a beauty and all was lost. Stop. And if I stole the money, a chill ran through my body. I never stole anything, but my parents themselves are to blame. They couldn't understand me. While they were in the kitchen, I crept into their bedroom and opened my mom's bag. The wallet was still there. With trembling hands, I took out the money, and then I heard footsteps approaching. I felt a rush of heat. I hurriedly shoved the wallet back in and put the money in my pocket. Immediately, the door swung open. Mom looked at me sternly and asked me what I was doing. Swallowing, I managed to say that I wanted to apologize to her. I gave her a quick peck on the cheek and ran outside. I couldn't wait to lose more weight. On the session, I gave all the money to the manager. Although I felt bad, thoughts about losing weight and Paul occupied my head. The manager took me to a session. After that, I rushed home to the weigh scales again. -3. I lost a lot of weight. And I could finally date Paul. But he shook his head. "You're still not skinny enough." I almost fell over. But where could I get the money? I felt overwhelmed. Paul and I could never be together. I was thinking of borrowing from my classmates, but no one wanted to lend me that much. There was only one thing left to do: steal from my parents again. In the evening, after waiting for my mom to leave the bedroom, I slipped inside. My heart was pounding. Where was this wallet? I looked around the room and noticed it on the nightstand. Great! I immediately grabbed the wallet as the door opened. My heart sank when I saw Mom's furious expression. "It's not what you think." Mom shouted that I was taking something forbidden because I had lost so much weight, and I was sneaking cash out of the wallet. I was so hurt to hear that. Mom added if this happened again, she would send me to the clinic for treatment. I almost burst into tears and immediately ran to my room. In the morning, I went to school in a terrible mood. Paul wouldn't be with me, all in vain. But then a guy came up to me and exhaled. What a slim little thing. This was the promoter who told me about the courses. What if he helped me? I asked if he could lend me money, and the promoter was surprised. Where could he get this amount from? His words made me droop. The promoter, noticing this, smiled encouragingly and asked me why I needed the money. Almost crying, I blurted it out. Then he frowned. But how did the session itself go? I shrugged. The teacher in the hoodie took me to the room, and after that, I didn't remember anything, but the main thing was the weight went away. Leo, that was the promoter's name, looked puzzled and asked again, "What do you mean you don't remember? This is all terribly strange. He himself never met with the boss, only invited the girl to a trial session. What if this was dangerous for the health?" I thought about it. Maybe Leo was right. I was so obsessed with losing weight that I didn't even ask why my weight was going down. What if there was something illegal there? It was impossible not to remember the whole session. Leo looked me straight in the eye. "Let's put a brooch with a camera and find out what's going on there." I nodded immediately. I wanted to know what was going on in this strange center. But where could I get money for a session? My parents would put me in a clinic if I said a word about the courses. Leo then asked if they could hold a session on credit. I thought about it. The manager knew that this was not my first session, and she could be persuaded, but we would play a scene. Leo bought a camera brooch, and we attached it to my blouse. I went to another session. The manager greeted me with a smile. I started to rummage through my pockets and suddenly froze in fright. Damn, I left my wallet at home. I dialed Leo and said in a sweet voice, "Daddy, I left my wallet at home. Will you pay for my session later?" Leo replied that he would do anything for the sake of his beloved daughter. The manager was silent for a long time, and I already thought that nothing would work out, but then she nodded and said to go in. I went into the dark room where the teacher was sitting, as usual, in a hoodie. I sank into a chair, and after that, I didn't remember anything. When I went outside, Leo was waiting for me, looking excited. We sat on a bench in the park, plugged the brooch into the laptop, and watched. In the video, the teacher in the hoodie started talking to me in a monotone, and I started to pass out. As soon as I fell asleep, the teacher took off his hoodie. My breath caught in my throat. "Paul?" While I was under hypnosis, he gave me some kind of decoction to drink. Leo and I exchanged glances. So Paul was a fraud. And he put girls into hypnosis, and I liked him. And suddenly a skater bumped into us. In his hands, he was holding a glass of juice, which spilled right on the laptop. It immediately crackled, and the screen went blank. I couldn't believe it. We lost the recording. Tears welled up in my eyes. Paul would cheat on girls with impunity, and I wouldn't do anything about it. Leo immediately put his arm around me and told me that we would bring Paul to light. He had a plan. The next day, Leo helped me get my makeup done. He pulled me into a corset, sculpted the bones on my face and arms, and painted the bruises under my eyes. When I saw myself in the mirror, I was horrified. The Walking Dead. So, I was walking exhausted down the hallway, barely dragging my feet along the wall. Paul saw me, froze in fright, and asked what was wrong with me. "It's all your fault," I shouted. I saw everything. Hypnosis doesn't work on me. Paul turned pale and blurted out that he didn't want to bring me to this state. We needed to call an ambulance. Got it. I straightened abruptly, showing him the recorder. Now I had the confession. He was not going anywhere. At that moment, Leo came around the corner and sternly snapped that it would be better for Paul to go to the police and confess. Paul looked at us with wild eyes, and then abruptly took off for the exit. No, Leo and I ran after him, but Paul was much faster than us. Just as I was losing hope, the police suddenly burst into the school. They immediately detained a reluctant Paul, and Leo whispered that he had decided to call the police in advance. I looked at him gratefully. What would I do without you? Paul's trial soon took place. It turned out that he was not a student at all, but a 35-year-old man who had been wanted by the police for a long time. He deliberately pretended to be a student and flirted with fat girls, persuading them to lose weight and lured them to his sect. Under hypnosis, he inspired them to come again and again, giving all the money. Mom said she was very proud of me, and I did find a boyfriend in the person of Leo. And even though I later gained weight again, my health was much more important to him than my weight. And if a guy is more concerned about your appearance, does he really love you?